Welcome to how to 10x your productivity. So today we're going to be talking about several different things on how to 10x your productivity. So first, you want to think about your clarity, and you want to think about, have you thought about your passion? What do you love? I love our creator. I love Mickey Mouse. I love Herbalife. I love helping people simplify health, wealth, and business. Have you thought about your purpose? Meaning thinking about, you guys, more ways that you can serve through the struggles, through the challenges that you've overcome. So part of my story is overcoming health, losing over 55 pounds with the help of Herbalife Nutrition, meal bags, 6-pack bags, learning nutrition, Plate Joy, Instacart, and so many tools, and developing a system and wanting to help people simplify that with overcoming, creating a life and a business I love, taking the past experiences I had with money as a CPA with over 7 industries, generating them 7 to 9 figure results, but realizing there was so many pieces of me missing. Plus, like many of us, I wanted to have time freedom, location freedom, and ultimately financial freedom, which I'm on the road to that now, full disclaimer. And it hasn't come without massive challenges, you guys, and having to rise up with resilience. So that's also why I'm so passionate in helping people with not just health, but wealth and business, and simplifying that. So where could you get more clear on your purpose? Then thinking about where your energy goes. And speaking of health, what ways are you fueling yourself? How are you taking care of your body? How are you practicing self-care? So I'm amazed, you guys, that I got to the results that I got to in the past with money and business when I was feeding myself once a day. And a lot of time that feeding was M&Ms in a jar in between meetings, was a post-workout meal of Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups, was a smoothie from Smoothie King. This was before I used Herbalife, after I worked out. So if you know anything about health, you guys, if you're not fueling yourself before and after your workout especially, you're completely defeating the purpose, because your body is taking muscle and converting it to fat for fuel. So you're going in this big circle with health, with body fat, etc. So thinking about ways that you're fueling yourself. And if you haven't checked out our freebies library yet, there's an ultimate health guide there with tons of tips and tools and tech on habits, as well as a free meal plan, as well as a free workout plan. And if you register on the meal plan site separately with Herbalife, you'll also get some workout videos. You can basically have a free wellness profile. You'll also get recommendations on products depending on your goals. And you'll also get a meal plan and some recipes there as well. And you can obviously directly get things there, but if you join our 7-day challenge or our monthly mastermind, and or attend an event, retreats, or experiences, we actually include mini packs and or full packs and meal bags as well in some of those options. So you want to think about that fuel, you guys. You want to think about, are you consuming enough water? Are you fueling every 3 hours? Do you have protein every meal? So passion, purpose, fueling. And then you want to think about, speaking of energy, other ways to basically magnify, amplify, and 10x your productivity. Where is your energy going? So you can see how I'm leading you through first being clear on what you love, then being clear on your purpose and ways that you're going to serve. But then, are you equipped? Do you have the energy to do that? And then where are you allowing your focus and your energy to go? So let's first talk about energy, and then we're going to transition into focus. So for example, I was having a conversation earlier today and yesterday at Dry Bar about, and I'm definitely guilty of this, you guys. It's so easy to think about and focus on the negative. what's wrong with your life, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with blah, blah, blah. And again, right versus wrong is relative, and right for me may not be right for you. So you can see how that, you know, alignment doesn't necessarily always work. So what I like to talk about is, you know, what do you want, and is everything aligned? Meaning, are you thinking about how you want to be, how you want to feel, how you want to show up? And then are you focusing on with your energy in either A, maintaining something that you're really happy with, or B, thinking about, okay, this is an area of my life that I'm not fully happy with right now. How can I transition that? How can I change that? How can I take action in that area to go more towards what I want? And then that focus is thinking about, okay, if, for example, you're trying to get through to time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, where are you channeling your focus? Are you on social media for hours upon hours a day without simply posting, engaging, and getting off? That's one example, because obviously social is a great way to interact, is a great way to create community, to, you know, get clients, to get business builders, entrepreneurs, all kinds of different avenues. But is your time really productive? And is it, let me get off, let me get on, and then let me also take action here, here, and here? Another example is, you know, I was a quintessential side hustler queen before the term was even existed. So as I weaved and worked my way through over 7 industries, no matter what I was doing, you guys, I always had a side hustle, always. And what I realized was really what was going on is I had so much fear and insecurity, basically across really taking massive action, the same way I did with people I worked for. So now I'm very mindful of, okay, Katrina, like I'll basically talk to myself and say, are you taking as much action and channeling as much energy and focus now like you did when you were generating XYZ company 7+ figures, when you were generating XYZ company $10 million in a year? Not typical, but possible, with a community, with a team, with focus, etc. And so I'll constantly challenge myself on that, you guys. So asking yourself that. And so along the lines of that, 2 components I'm going to transition into. So simplicity, you guys. As a former OCD, complicated, control freak human, I realized where I would complicate stuff, or I had allowed others and their energy or the way they operated to influence me. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by simplicity in the context of life or business? How can you get something done in 3 to 5 steps is what I mean. So perfect example, filming this vlog, filming this, you know, basically how to 10x productivity. I literally sat down and said, okay, what do I want to talk about? Let me write down the topics, and then let me figure out if I'm going to film at my Airbnb, if there's a space, or let me go to WeWork. So that's it, you guys. No elaborate write down, no elaborate, you know, bullet points, conversation flow, execute. Literally. That's simple, you guys, because if one of my mentors, Brendan Bouchard, talks about this, that he framed his mind a couple years ago to film 1 take. And so I've been basically focusing on that more and more. And full disclaimer, I actually recorded this episode yesterday at WeWork. And where a lot of the conference rooms are, it was very noisy, and then there was doors slamming. So then I thought, well, let me go outside. So problem solver, resilience. I thought about, let me go outside, it should be easy, it's on the 6th floor. I filmed it, so I still got it done, but it was so noisy, all these traffic noises, honking. And so I thought about it today, I'm like, okay, this is rework, but I could see where if I was tuning into this episode, it would be so much distraction, and to where it would not serve you guys as much. So I decided to refilm it, no problem. And so in a sense, I did get some practice, right? So, you know, focusing on getting it done, and done is better than perfect, but sometimes we do get to redo things because I realized where that wasn't going to serve you as well. So 3 to 5 steps in simplicity, and that helps amplify speed. So a lot of the questions I also get around my life is, okay, what does your morning routine look like? And or what does your day look like? So I actually filmed a video, day in the life, that you can take a peek at on my YouTube. It's on my IG stories or live, I believe, but if not, it's definitely on YouTube. And so what it basically in a nutshell looks like, you guys, and it's evolved over time, is I get up speaking I am statements. I am so grateful for past state, current state, future state things. I get up speaking I am statements about worthiness and deserving. Then I get up and talk about gratitude as well as writing it down. Then I focus on my day and I think about right now, and this is always evolving, my day in terms of passion, purpose, people, profits, but I think about it as far as an execution of content, courses, and community. So content, perfect example, this is content. But this is also intertwining with community because it's going to go on the blog, it's going to go on the podcast, it's going to go on different avenues, right? Different platforms to reach different people. And then directly, indirectly, it's also tied to courses. Because some of the people that connect and create and cultivate with us through freebies, they're going to connect with us through courses in Fit Life Creation, our all-in-one lifestyle brand with health, wealth, business, experiences, influencers, and ambassadors. So content, courses, and then community. And sometimes an action is directly focused on all of those all in one, or indirectly it flows. And sometimes it's focused on like one thing. So for example, if I'm reaching out to an influencer via a platform, or if I'm connecting with a brand on some collaborations and different things, that's direct to community. But it still ends up leading to content and to courses. So you could see how it's all intertwined. So today, I'm here in Miami. I came here day before yesterday. I'm here, the specific driver that got me here was coming for our Herbalife Nutrition Spectacular event. But I immediately thought, how can I leverage being in Miami? How can I connect with more people? How can I create community? Changing my hashtags to Miami specifics, Miami blogger, Miami influence. So changing, my hashtags. So like, for example, that was the driver that got me here. But then I realized, okay, let me leverage everything. So in Lyft, for example, I've been taking Lyft the whole time I'm here. I've been connecting, creating, and cultivating community. I've handed out my information for our freebies. We've talked courses. We've talked our 7-day challenge, our mastermind. I went to Dry Bar to get a blowout. I have a membership with them. I connected and created with over 3 to 4 new friends there. So it's being mindful of where you are, but still flowing and having that location freedom, you guys. Then I thought about, okay, I get to, full disclaimer, lift off. Shout out Herbalife. I'm drinking it for those of you tuning in to the podcast versus video. I thought about, okay, I could stay at a hotel or I could stay at an Airbnb and I could film there. I thought about I could stay at a hotel or I could stay at an Airbnb and film here and or go to WeWork and film there. So I mentioned earlier how I tried that yesterday, but it wasn't exactly conducive. So I thought, okay, either I'm gonna film and check out the lounge downstairs or try another WeWork or go outside. So I still may film outside later. Right now it's a bit chilly. So thankfully, and I figured that the lounge was gonna be dead because most people, are working for someone or outside or not here right now. So perfect, I get the space all to myself. It's amazing. And so basically filming some vlogs, filming some things for our courses, for our mastermind, and for our academy. So that's basically, so you can see the clear focus, content, course, community. So I would urge you guys, if you have not yet basically structured your days in those days, whether you still work for someone, whether you're a side hustler, whether you're an entrepreneur, think about ways to amplify your focus. So speaking of which, the last 2 points on 10xing your productivity is amplify and resilience. So amplification. So some of you may think of this in terms of exponential. Some of you may think about this in terms of exposure or amping it up. So ways that you can amplify your reach through, it can be through, multiple ways of community, online and live. Some ways that you might think about doing things, whether you're a brand or an entrepreneur or both, is meetups. You can list things on meetups. You can leverage and create community with WeWorks. You can leverage on all social media platforms. You can leverage with influencers. You can leverage with more ways to utilize and integrate social media. And so much more, you guys. Like, those are just some suggestions, but ways, asking yourself, how can I reach more people? How can I connect and create and cultivate community more? Another example, very recently, actually I'll give you 2 examples. And it's all about being open and flexible, which is the next point. So I realized when we were hosting our events and retreats, I started to think about, wait a minute, when I was hosting trainings with corporate, we would typically do a focused week every month or every quarter. So I thought about, what if we created the exact same thing and have a workshop week every month? Okay, so it creates a concentration of energy and a concentration of focus, back to some of the earlier points. Then I thought about, how can I amplify this? How can I leverage this? And I realized, wait a minute, I can look for platforms that I can list the workshop weeks on. Of course, social media, but on top of that, Meetup, WeWorks, and then local stuff. So I just found out the Metro Atlanta Chamber, you guys, lets people list events for free. So super easy. So don't think that it's always something that costs. Sometimes you can find free platforms. And then the last point I want to talk about with 10xing productivity. And, in some avenues, and for some of you, this is going to be the most important one, is resilience. You guys, when I was, younger, college, different things, I definitely focused on being limitless, resilient, and priceless. But I realized with time and other people's mindsets and what I allowed is I had actually started to become the opposite. That I started to constrict myself. I started to play small. I started to, react to so many things. And one little thing would be like a volcano erupting, or judging myself on my worth, or judging my worth in my work, versus recognizing that I am, and you are, and we all are, when we choose to be and when we believe we are, limitless, resilient, and priceless. And as I started to reframe my mind, I started to realize, with the resilience especially, is that, situations our life isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. You've heard me talk about overcoming health, wealth, business challenges, walking through some things right now on my path to financial freedom, losing a best friend, you guys, to cancer, so many different things, being in an abusive relationship in my early 20s. But I realized during pivotal points, and even if I wasn't aware of it at the time, is subconsciously somehow my spirit knew I have a choice to sit here and play, and we all have a choice to sit here and play victim and woe is me, life is horrible, this happened to me, and let that one circumstance or that one instance or that one word that someone said to me or whatever it was, right, to define me and to stay there and to play that tape over and over and over. Or I realized I had a choice to take that and turn that pain into purpose, turn that pain into power, so that I could help more people and relate to them and show them that there's a way out of that pain, and that it can also serve to drive them to turn pain into purpose and help more people. So it's a choice. It's a choice on how we react to any circumstance, you guys. Even on the way down here to Miami, you know, I was quote unquote supposed to be here at 10 p.m. And if you travel, or if you've ever traveled, like, you know more than anyone, travel teaches you that we are never in control. The flight leaving from San Francisco, the plane that was coming to Atlanta to take us to Miami, was delayed because of weather. And so we left Atlanta over 2 hours late. Then when we got to Miami, the gateway, or the gate bridge, wouldn't open. Mechanical things. Then they moved us to a different gate, and that one was having problems too. And you know, and I had a choice that, am I gonna sit here and gripe that I'm not getting to my Airbnb till, you know, 1 a.m.? Or am I gonna choose to simply have gratitude that, you know what, I get to take a plane ride to Miami. I get to come to a warmer state. I get to come here for an amazing training. I get to come here to create content. I get to create a life, you know, I love. And this is just part of the process and part of the journey. And am I gonna complain, or am I gonna realize the blessing and the gratitude that everything is, or choose where I channel my energy? So in summary, how to 10x productivity. We talked about passion. We talked about purpose. We talked about taking pain into purpose. We talked about your fuel and how your energy is, and are you taking care of yourself? We talked about your focus, how you set up your days, your daily routine, your daily focus. We talked about resilience, and then we also talked about hand in hand with that is flexibility, and then amplifying that focus, that drive to create what you love. So if you didn't yet, when you were tuning in, sit down with a notepad and a journal. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're kind of, you know, doing something else. I would encourage you to revisit this with paper and pen in hand, and for you to reflect on a deeper level, for you to write things down in each of those areas, because the more we focus and the more we write things down and the more we take action, it creates more and more results. So if you're recapping this, and maybe this is your second time or third time, because you guys, I revisit content all the time, including my own, including other people's. Right now I have on repeat, I'm a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero and Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. Like, both of those books are on repeat right now. And Laws of Success, depending on, Laws of Success is at night, Jen Sincero's in the mornings, and then Rachel Hollis's Girl Wash Your Face is kind of in between stuff. So in summary, passion, purpose, energy, your day, how you're structuring your days, and amplification, resilience, and flexibility. So that's what you want to think about. And habits or mindsets, which habits are a reflection of our mindsets, that you're currently doing that maybe aren't serving you. And as I close, even, you know, myself, you guys, I'm always thinking about creation, transforming, and inspiring. Like, we never arrive. It's a never ending journey. So I amped up massive action the end of last year. And then I realized this year, recently, even with this trip to Miami, where different things were coming up for me, where I was complicating something, or I was reacting and not self-sabotaging, versus slowing down, taking a deep breath, thinking about the trip or the travel or the Airbnb, and flowing. So I get the chance to rise to a different level, to a brand new Katrina. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, feel free to post anything, tag us on social media, what you got out of this, what you implemented, what you took action on. Tag friends that may want some motivation and creating a life and a business they love.